Let's end this. Okay, last time that I was at this point, I called for Cain because that was the dumb bitch move to make. So of course I was going to do it, just get it out of the way. So now instead I'm going to go with Damien, and hopefully he won't decide to murder my face off just like everybody else. I took Damien's hand and he pulled me close. .D, let's get out of here, Damien called into the other room. A hooded figure stepped out into the open. He must have been hiding just in case something went wrong. I got your back. It was finally over. Is it? I felt like I was weightless as I floated away with Damien and .D. In the blink of an eye, I was in a place that looked like a church. I clutched my wounds and looked at Damien and .D. Where are we? We're in the church. You're safe now, but... Damien paused and looked at .D for a moment. You have to stay here until Cain gets bored. My brother is unrelenting. If he kept you alive that long, there's a good chance he likes you more than a normal human. That long was like, what, 2 days? 2.5 days? You'll be safe here. As long as it takes, you can stay here with us. As long as it takes. Something about this art. It makes me feel like they're gonna start fucking. I rushed forward and hugged Damien hard. I felt his strong arms around me as he put his hand on the back of my head. He slowly touched my hair and held me close. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Yay! Wait. I clutched my wounds and looked at Damien and .D. Did it go back? I don't... Damien sighed as I walked away and turned around the corner. I still wanted to listen in on their conversation. I peeked around and saw Damien and .D standing across from each other. How do we keep getting ourselves into these situations? .D asked, looking at Damien with an accusatory stare. Yeah, it's my fault. That's why I asked you to stay back while I got them out. .D sighed and turned to leave, but Damien leaned back. Do you think it's weird? What's weird? We're priests. We're supposed to be protecting people from the supposed dark underbellies. Yet, we both have demon boyfriends. What? And where did this even come from? Like, they were just talking about, like, protecting people and saving people, and all of a sudden, they're just like, oh, by the way, how weird is it that we have demon boyfriends? I don't know what you mean. You know, I have Venny. He's a demon, and you're dating that one demon. The one with goggles. What? Ism? Is that how you say that? Ism? Are you sure you didn't sustain a head injury? You seem to be delusional. .D said in a warning tone, almost like he was covering something up. You sure you're not dating? You guys looked awfully close. Damien teased as .D stormed away. How do they even meet demons that they, like, decide that they're gonna date? Like, they go into this underworld to, like, save people from demons. How did they meet a demon that they waited long enough to not kill so that they got to the point where they got to know them and then start dating? Am I looking too much into this? Probably. We're not dating. Sure you're not. Damien watched .D walk into the other room. If you're not right now, you're gonna be. Okay, so let's go talk to him. Damien walked up to me and I looked up at him. What's wrong? He looked at the wooden pew and nodded towards it. Sit. he said in a commanding tone, and I immediately sat down. You sure are good at listening to commands. God damn it, he's gonna kill me, isn't he? He's gonna feed me to his demon boyfriend. Damien flopped down next to me. He put his arms up on the pew and I scooted closer to him. Okay, well, he's dating somebody actively right now. So let's ask about Cain. I feel like that'll probably piss him off the most, and then we can go through this one. Am I really safe here? I asked, looking at Damien. In here? Yeah, you are. Out there? I can't promise anything. Damien pointed at the door. I'm not sure how much Cain liked you, so I can't be certain. Hey, shouldn't you get to bed? Damien got up and I slipped my feet on the ground. I nodded quickly and he took a breath in like he was going to tell me something. Never mind. Go to sleep. He shoved me a bit. Fuck. You're rough for a priest. He put his hands out and shrugged. Never said I was a good one. So I'm going to go to bed and wake up the next morning and I'm going to be in fucking Strade's basement because that's apparently just the place that I live now. He said with a small laugh as he slipped into the shadows. I watched the tail of his coat slip out of sight and I sighed. I wandered away into my own room. Who could sleep? I walked into the hallway and looked at the shrine. It was dark. Was there anyone else living here besides these two? It didn't seem to be an open church, just two guys walking around sometimes. No sermons, no visitors. I felt my bare feet against the concrete and pulled the robe that was on my bed around me. Where was Damien anyways? I poked my head into a room that was empty. Well, obviously we're gonna take some glances. Oh shit. I quickly moved on to the next one. I wonder whose room this is. It was filled with random bones, magic spells, magic circles, books, cups, and little plants. It was a bed with a blonde man sleeping in the middle. Again, he is dating somebody. Let him sleep. We'll go explore. I turned away to leave. Why are you snooping around in my room? I heard from behind me. I turned around to see Damien looking at me. I thought you were asleep. Why does he have the number 13 on his chest? I don't sleep very well, he said as he patted the spot next to him and sat up. He sat at the edge of the bed. So, what are you doing in my room? I looked at him, then looked at my hands. I was lonely. I know that feeling. Think my company would be better? He laid back down on his bed. It's better than being alone. Plus, you look bored. Ass. He said as he pulled me up on his lap. What? He's dating somebody. What is happening? Is this a trap? Is this a trap? Is he gonna start trying to like hit on me and stuff and then the demon boyfriend's gonna come and just like rip out my entrails? I sat on top of him looking down at him. I hate this. This is lewd. Aren't you supposed to be a man of the cloth? Hardly. All I do is exorcisms. They just let me stay here. I'm more effective than a human priest, Damien said as he ran his hands up my thighs. I shuddered as his rough hands made their way up my robes. How? He pushed his fingers into my skin. I felt my toes curl as he pressed his fingers into my muscles. What are you doing? I'm just touching you. Well, fucking, I know that much. That a crime? He put his hands up and put them behind his head. Tease. I huffed. You're the one who complained. I wasn't complaining. I just asked. It sounds like a you problem. Did you just come in here to talk? I mean, yeah. Damien asked as he pulled an arm from behind his head and played with the tie around my waist. Or did you want to do something else? He said as he tugged it, I could almost feel all of me being exposed to him. I bit my bottom lip thinking about what I wanted to say. Why? Why do they keep making me say these things? I guess let's just start from the top. A masochist, He grabbed a fistful of my hair and pushed me down on the bed. He twisted my arm behind my back and rubbed his body against me. He pulled my arm and leaned into the back of my neck. Sadism is my forte. Oh, fuck, he said as he pushed my arm. It felt like it was going to pull right out of my socket as he yanked. I let out a moan as he twisted me. He didn't say anything more. Oh, you... Oh, now he's naked. I'm so confused. Like, not gonna say I'm sitting here feeling sorry for some demon, but like, he did say that that was his boyfriend, right? Right? I don't know. I woke up in Damien's arms and I nuzzled him softly. He let out a soft grunt. He was actually sleeping this time. Good morning, he grumbled. He didn't seem like a morning person. I could just kick his ass off the bed. I tried to shove him off the bed to get him up. Get up. I attempted to roll him off the bed. He barely moved as he grabbed me. I flailed uselessly and looked at him, his face resting on my chest. Let's get up, I'm hungry. I pushed fingers through his hair. It was thick and soft. I felt it with my fingers. He must have taken good care of it. All right, fine, he muttered as he let me go to get up. He snapped his fingers and his outfit materialized around him. What? And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, their powers make no sense. He walked beside me and bumped me hard with his hip. I stumbled but didn't fall. I had to learn to put my clothes on that way. I can teach you too. Really? Of course, it's magic. All you need is a master. He cocked his eyebrows and looked at me. You just want me to call you master, don't you? Stroke my ego just a little. No, gross! I yelled, my face as red as a beet. I pushed him out of his room. I'll break you yet. D stared at us as we wandered out of Damien's room. I'm not going to ask. Good idea. Damien watched his partner walk away. Oops. Don't worry, Cece. He'll get over it. I'm not worried. I grinned and looped my arm with Damien's to get breakfast with him. He rubbed his face against the top of my head and gripped my hand. His large, warm hand covering mine and squeezing it gently. You stayed with Damien. I mean, it's better than staying with Cain. It doesn't seem like he's a torturer so far. I don't know. Let's see if we can get any other endings with him. Okay, so let's still talk to Damien. And let's ask more about him. What about you? What are you all about? Damien snorted and leaned back. Just some grumpy dude who tries to pick up people like you. People who Cain's picked up. Damien's green eyes didn't leave the ceiling. I know that much. What about you, Damien? I can't say anything good about myself, so I'd rather just let you get your own impression of me. If I only say bad shit about myself, then that's all you'll get into your head. It's better if you learn from being around me. Then you can make your own decision. Hey, shouldn't you get to bed? Damien got up and I slipped my feet on the ground. I nodded quickly, and he took a breath in like he was going to tell me something. Never mind. Go to sleep. He shoved me a bit. You're rough for a priest. Oh, okay. So if we go in here, I'm pretty sure that if we just... I feel like all of these are going to lead to the same ending, but I'm going to check. I reached out to touch him. Damien grabbed my robe and pinned me to the bed, a sharp blade to my neck. I don't sleep very well. Why are you sneaking up on me? Damien said, examining my face. That's not how you threaten me. I like it. Damn, dude, chill out. Hey, fam. What is happening? I have to deal with shit like Cain all day. Of course I'm jumpy. Damien said, taking his blade away from my neck. Okay, and then that just... I'm not calling him daddy. I'm not. I can't. No. No! He folded his hands behind his head, content with just looking at me. But I wasn't content with just looking at him. I put my hands on his chest, running my fingers on his tattoo. 13, It's from necromancy. Helps me focus. Is that why you have bones in your room? That, and they look badass. He let out a contented sigh as I ran my hands on his torso, rubbing his skin. Did you just come in here to talk? Damien asked as he pulled an arm from behind his head and played with a tie around my waist. Or did you want to do something else? Okay, and it just ends the same. I guess father's better than daddy. You want redemption, sinner? Now we're role-playing. So, oh no, he's got... Okay, just straight into it. Damien snapped his fingers and his uniform appeared around him. He grabbed my chin and forced me on my feet. Strip, I have something for you. I slowly slipped the robe off my shoulders and dropped it to the ground. He grabbed my head and forced it over his bed. Oh. He reached behind his bed and pulled out a thin, straight stick of wood. Really? Am I going to get caned? 40 lashes? Don't hit me. What the fuck? Yeah, it's gonna hurt. I'm going to make you sorry. Jesus, he whispered into my ear. I tilted my head back as he struck me again. Ugh. Ugh. I rubbed my face in his sheets as I felt the sting. They smelled like cigarettes and him. Ugh. I could feel myself drooling as he What? Why am I drooling? There was blood. I could feel it dripping down my legs. What the hell? He didn't stop once there was blood? Oh my god. Whoops, I got too into it. Yeah, I would say so. He broke the switch. Sweet. You're bleeding. Yeah. He leaned down and licked. Of course he did. Of course he did. I yelped and tensed up. I know how to stop it. Damien wandered away from me for a moment, leaving me alone and shaking with excitement. Oh. Oh. That's not gonna help with the bleeding. He put candle wax on it. That's really not going to help me. For some reason, I'm hearing a cicada? My head was spinning, but I could swear I saw dark metal wings. Is this the cicada sound I was hearing? And then this is just the same. You can make him bleed now. Get up. I yelled with a happy smile on my face. His eyes shot open and he shoved me. Brat, I'll get you for that. I think you already did, sir. He pushed me off the bed and leaned over the side. I scooped my robe around me and stuck my tongue out at him. Don't stick that out unless you plan on using it. Jeez. I could feel my face heat up and he helped me to my feet. Yeah. Fucking, I don't want to. Fine, Master Damien, I said, pushing him out of his room. That felt so good, though. Ew. Okay, so we're gonna talk to him again, and this time we'll do this middle option, because I guess he has no problems with cheating on his boyfriend. I mean, his boyfriend is a demon, though. Does he consider this to be cheating? I don't know their boundaries. I don't know the rules of their relationship. I leaned into him and put my head on his chest. I slowly rubbed my head into his chest. He put one arm around me and caressed the top of my head. What are you doing? You a cat or something? Affectionate now that I rescued you from that vulture? Damien yanked me into his lap and nuzzled the top of my head. That's fine, I'm always up for cuddling anyways. He rubbed his hands into my back. I clung close to him and let him squeeze me tight. His hands were warm and strong. Okay. I think there was one more dialogue tree that we can do. Yeah, just getting in there. Damien grabbed my robe and pinned me to the bed, a sharp blade to my neck. Oh, so it's the same either way. Okay. I guess I'll try this one and then I'll try the other one. Oh shit, sorry. I'm pretty paranoid. Damien rolled off me and closed his knife. And then it just ends the same. God damn it. Fine. Fine. Damien snorted. Daddy, you into that kind of thing? Really not. It's just hard no. He grabbed the front of my robes and tugged me down to eye level, the musky scent of his cologne and sweat hitting my nose. Or would you rather just call me father? 'Cause I can punish you all night long, sinner. Damien whispered into my lips. His voice felt dangerous, his usual tone dropping into a confident growl, sending a chill up my spine. He let my robes go and leaned back, his hands behind his head. Okay, then. Let's fuck. Okay, yeah. Oh, he put his clothes back on? What? Nice clothes, man. I used to have black hair too, but people trust you more when you look traditional. How'd you do that anyways? Magic. One of the perks to knowing magic is that you can be lazy. He walked around me and I eyeballed him. What? I watched him circle me much like a vulture himself, and he pulled off his belt and moved quickly behind me. He put the belt around my neck and dragged me close to his body. On the ground? He said into my ear as I struggled against him. I thrashed and kicked hard, but he was much stronger than me. He dragged me to the floor and stomped on my back, pushing hard against my spine. Why? Look at you, trash. Were they like fucking raised together or something? Like, where do they get this? Why? Oh my god. So like, is the only reason that he doesn't like Cain is because Cain kills his people at the end? Like, he doesn't give a shit what he does up until that point. He just doesn't want them to die. Because that's what it's seeming like. Writhing around on the floor like a grub. He grabbed my hair and pulled my head up. You're just lucky enough to be here. He pulled a cigarette out of his pocket and lit it. He blew smoke into my face, making me cough. Disgusting. Flip over. I shook my head and Damien sneered. A brat, I guess. He kicked me across the stomach, forcing me over. Jesus. He pushed his boot on my chest and the tip of his toe in my face. Lick it, he commanded as I put my hands on his heavy leather boots. I gripped it and squeezed down on the rubber. I stuck my tongue out and licked the top of the leather. Disgusting. It tasted dirty and gritty, but the look on Damien's face, it made me writhe in pleasure as he pushed his boot all over my tongue. What is it with these blonde guys and making me lick their boots? I don't like it. I panted and gripped his foot. No. He licked his lips and pointed at his belt. I quickly moved. Oh. He bit me. By the way, he bit me. My tongue flopped out of my head. That must have looked so attractive. Oh, but then he looks at me like this. Called me trash, called me a grub, kicked me, made me lick his boot, and then he's just looking at me like, I love you so much. You're not human, are you? No shit. No, I'm your fallen angel. I clung to his arm as we laid down in his bed. I knew I should have been afraid of another fallen angel, yes. But I wasn't. I felt safe with him. You said the same shit about Cain. I mean, I don't think that you are the best judge of character. So I guess we're being sweet now? Okay. I slipped off the bed and picked up my robe. And then he's just dressed. I'm not doing that shit. So I wonder what happens if we just don't talk to him. I'll just leave them be. I really should gather myself up. Oh, that's it? Oh. So if we go back to sleep, does it just say, you went back to sleep? I looked at the time. I should just let Damien sleep. I let out a sigh and walked back to my room. He went back to bed. Cool. So we still have 7 endings to get with Cain. Yippee for me. So let's go ahead and get those, I guess. So this is the first day. Just woke up, went out and talked to him, and this is the part where he wrapped me up in the vines and he was being a dick. The razor-edged stakes finally penetrated bone as I heard my spine snap and an immense wave. The razor-edged stakes finally penetrated bone as I heard my spine snap and an immense wave of pain shot through my body. I tried to plead for him to stop, but all I could do was scream and wail in agony. Cain. Cain rested his index finger on my lips. Don't worry, sweetheart. It'll all be over soon. A plethora of long, bloody barbs protruded from my arms and legs, giving my body the appearance of a nightmarish pincushion. More spikes ripped through my torso, tearing through skin, muscle, and bone. I coughed and sputtered up blood onto my chest. I weakly lifted up my head to look at Cain. A pressure began to build under my sternum. Roses burst out of my chest, my vision slowly growing dark. I heard Cain speak as my hearing started to fade. You know, I think you might make a wonderful centerpiece. Now, where should I put you? You're a little too big for the dining room table. Thanks. Just add insult to injury, I guess, you dick. I'm back to this fucking nightmare where I just ate myself, and I never just said nothing. I always responded, so I curled up and tried to forget what just happened. Take care of that yourself. You're capable, he said as he backed away from me. I collected a napkin close by and passed out. Oh. It doesn't really do anything. Cool. Oh shit. I got my sanity to 0. I felt the world around me shift into blackness as I watched Cain's eyes. They seemed to be the only thing breaking through the dark haze of my mind. When I came to, I looked up at a large blade hanging above my head. Perched still in the darkness, the only thing I could see was the razor-sharp blade. I went to move, but I felt my arm lock in place by a rusted shackle, the cold sweat collecting on my brow as I panicked. Impia tortorum longus hic turba furores sanguineus anacae non satia aluit. So, according to my brain and absolutely no other outside sources, this means this ungodly crowd of tormentors has long nourished the furies of innocent blood. I have a PhD in Latin, so. I heard Cain's voice ring out in the empty and desolate halls of the chamber I was trapped in. It feels almost trite that I'd be using this method to finish you, but your mental state isn't in the best of health. Perhaps the literary beauty of this moment is wasted on you. I watched the blade swing above my head. It only seemed to be moving back and forth at first, the blade's rhythmic swings almost hypnotizing. It's not wasted on me. I'll watch you suffer no matter how long it takes. Cain's deep laugh rang through the darkness as I watched the blade come for me. He didn't say anything more. I only listened to the sound of the rushing blade. The darkness only bred a cold longing for anything but that blade. By the time it reached me, I was begging for the release it would bring. Love that. Love it. So I found the phone, talked to Damien, and he was like, I'm gonna trace the call and I'm gonna come get you. And I was like, sick. Love it. And then Cain walked in, obviously after the phone call. And I haven't seen this before. Why don't you start calling me Master, love? He said as he snapped his fingers. I could feel a leather collar snapping around my neck and my eyes widened. You look pretty in a little collar. I nibbled my lip and crawled over to him. Yes, well, I said softly as I nuzzled his arm. Cain gently rubbed his hand against my head and I could feel a rush. He really likes to treat me like a dog. It pounded in my skull and I could feel myself panting, like a dog. I opened my mouth to say something, but all that came out was a moan. You like that, my lovely little kitten? I don't think that's the animal. I could feel his hands through my hair as I leaned into his shoulder. He stroked my hair down to my lower back. He pushed his fingers. Oh! You could have this all the time, you know. Yikes. Wouldn't you want to be my sweet kitten? Think about it. What does he mean, think about it? He stood up and left the room, leaving me feeling lonely. I didn't want to do anything. So I guess let's look for the phone. What's that? I retracted my hands and took a deep breath in. Cain! I screamed at the top of my lungs and Damien took his hand back. What do you do? Before Damien could even react, I watched his arms separate from his body. Oh no! Damien let out a blood-curdling scream as he held his arm socket and fell to the ground. Well, at least it was his arm and not my arm. Cain walked up behind him, licking his fingers. What do we have here? I got the special heart. I got the special one. Little brother? He stomped Damien's side and kicked him across the room. Thank you for calling me, darling. I feel really good about that decision. I wandered behind him and clutched the bottom of his blazer. He was trying to save me. I mumbled into Cain's back. Looks like you failed again. How foolish of you to walk into my domain without... I could hear a gas can going off. It rolled into the room and a shadow darted across the room to Damien. The figure picked Damien under the good side. What is this? A young man picked up Damien, who was breathing hard. Fucking Christ, Damien, are you okay? He asked in a hushed tone. He must have been a part of the same order as Damien. Damien nodded slowly and looked at Cain. This isn't over. D narrowed his eyes. Do you even realize what you've just done? His voice dripped with calm animosity towards me as he backed up. You're not getting away, Cain said as he moved forward, but Damien and D disappeared in a cloud of black mist. Cain sighed and shook his head. Well, I'm glad they got away. He blew the smoke away with his wings. He'll be back. He picked up Damien's arm and tossed it away like garbage, then looked at me. You did well calling me as you did, Cain said as he reached over and touched my hair. You can call me anytime. You can call it a favor. Just give me a ring, love. I reached out and he pulled me close, caressing the top of my head. Thank you, master, I said softly into his chest. I don't want to let you go, Cain said softly into the top of my head. I clutched him close to me and bit my lip. I don't want to leave you, master. Please don't get rid of me. I begged, knowing what his original intentions were. He wanted me to die, but I have a proposition for you. Cain spoke directly into my ear and touched my hair lightly. I quivered and nodded my head that I was listening. Stay here, and I'll make you a demon, and you can be my precious pet forever. How does that sound? Horrible! That sounds awful. I looked to the side and thought for a moment. Okay, I finally said as he put his hands on my hips. Good. He pushed his lips on mine. I could feel my body getting hotter. Was he killing me? My knees started to feel weak. This wasn't a normal heat. I felt my body shifting under his hands. What are you going to become? A sex demon? Cyclops? Oni? Let's find out together, he said as he watched me shift. I could feel an aura coming off of him that made me pant and go bleary-eyed. I gripped his blazer. Were those horns? And a tail? Something about the sight of him like this made my heart race, because of course it did. He put his hand on my head and I could feel a wave of pleasure hit me as the final stages of my transformation hit. There you go, my sweet little demon. You're mine now. Sure. What kind of demon did I turn into? I pulled up a demon description generator to see what kind of demon I would be, what I would turn into. And this is what I got. I like it. This demon brings power to sinners. It is a feminine, smoking, bony humanoid with cloven hooves and razor spines. It stands at the height of an average human. Its face is featureless, and it speaks in a light voice. It is surprisingly reasonable. Beware its deadly poison. I can dig it. I can dig my description. I can dig being that kind of demon. I'm good with it. He did it. He wore me down. I called him master. And I hated every second of it. But it led to this, so at least I get a little bit of a consolation prize. I decided to go to the living room and looked around. There wasn't really anything I could look at. Except I pulled out an easel from the corner and looked at it. Are you going to paint? Oh, it's the special one again. Cain asked as he came in from the balcony. Okay, so let's do the DBS choice first. Nah, I don't paint. I put the easel back and walked into his bedroom. I didn't want to do anything, I just wanted to sleep. I laid down in his bed and closed my eyes. I woke up and looked down at myself. I was clothed. These weren't my usual clothes, but I didn't mind. It was nice to be covered for once. I slid out of bed and wandered into the living room. Cain was sitting reading again. What are you reading? It's twilight. I asked, placing my chin on his shoulder. There were a lot of words I didn't understand. Can you read it? Not really. I wouldn't expect you to understand it at any rate. It's all magic. I paused. What are you looking up? Cain sighed and closed the book. Something important. That being... When did you get so inquisitive? When you answered all my questions last night. What a mistake. He joked. He joked, and I cocked an eyebrow at him. Cain forced my arms around him and leaned into my embrace. He took a deep breath. You're trapped here. I know. You're keeping me here. Even if I didn't keep you here, the world has marred you. It's like wading through blood. There's no chance of you leaving without someone noticing it. What do you propose we do about it? He mused on my words as his own thoughts flooded through his head. I have a proposition for you. That being, you can stay here of your own free will or die out there. Doesn't sound like I've got much of a choice. No, you don't. But it's a choice I want you to make on your own. Well, I mean, if I leave, is he gonna, protect me, or is he just sending me out to die? Oh, he did say, die out here. Yeah, he did say that. I'll take my chances. Good luck out there. Yeah. I pushed off of him and walked out of his home. He didn't follow me. Where was I going? I wandered for a long time. Forever. It's just a long time. It's fine. Okay, so this time I'll just stay here, I guess. Smart of you. I try. I leaned my head against Cain's and played with the collar on his shirt. So what now? Do I become your loving spouse or something? What about my second in command? I paused and looked at him. What do you mean? You must have felt it. You have a darkness in you, just waiting to come out. You didn't have to think to paint a picture of you destroying angels. I didn't paint... What? Right? I clicked no. I clicked no for painting. I'm gonna have to roll that back and make sure that's... Because I'm like 99% sure I said nah and put the easel away. Nah, I don't paint. I put the easel back and walked into his bedroom. It just came naturally to you. Life can be easier with someone watching your back. And you chose me to do it? What if I just betray you? You won't. You don't know that. Cain grabbed the front of my top and dragged me into his lap. I hit his legs with a thump and looked up at him. I do know it. Your carnal desires, your subconscious thoughts, they all lead to one place. He put his hand on my thigh and moved it upwards. I cursed, wishing that I had been naked now. Right here. With me. I need your consent? Since when has he needed consent? You didn't before. What makes this time different? It'll be different. You just sit there then. Cain's eyes widened as he looked up at me. I'll do it. What? Small black feathered wings sprouted from my back, only enough to circle my shoulders. I have wings? The new wings fluttered with excitement as Cain reached out to touch them. They'll grow as you get stronger. Cain's tone, soft, panting, more tired than I ever heard him after that. I looked at them, then back to him. I wrapped my arms around his shoulders. I felt free. Cain saw your value. Aww. So nice of him to have to, go through all of this to recognize that I, as a person, had value. Instead of just giving that to me from the very beginning. Okay, so I am so certain that I said no to painting. And he was talking about painting. And no, I can't let this go. And it matters, and it's really important, okay? So I guess I'll say yes this... See? I said no. Game's tripping. Do you have anything for it? I only have black paint. Why am I not surprised that he only has black paint? I nodded my head. That's okay. He's so emo. He opened the closet and pulled out a canvas for me. He put a toolbox next to the easel and I opened it. It was full of fancy, unused brushes and a bottle of black paint. Do you paint? No, I never had a talent for it. Probably because you only use black. I picked up a brush and dipped it into the black ink. I just wanted to paint something, anything to take my mind off my situation. Cain took a seat on his couch, watching me. Have you studied art before? Just what I learned online, honestly. Self-taught knowledge can be admirable. You really can't trust everything you read, especially online. A person can lie to you just as well as anything online. True. Any knowledge is power, my dear. You just need to know how to seek it out. These days it's not so hard to find information about anything, really. You just need a computer. I just watched my hand move as I painted. An old man like me, I barely know how to use the internet. He has a smartphone. My knowledge comes from my experience. Does he not know? Is he the kind of person that has the smartphone that it's so magnified, so zoomed in that you get one word stacked on top of each other? And he's this guy. Real far away. And I have many years of experience. Sounds eternal. It can be. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway has been lost. The Inferno, Dante's Divine Comedy. The situation that I find myself in isn't far from a divine comedy in its own rights. I've never really understood that, the whole memorizing poetry and quoting it at each other trope. I don't think I've memorized a single poem in my life, except maybe Shel Silverstein. I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I've got, I've got a fever and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. Okay, see that, but that's not romantic. And that's not oh wow, you're so smart. You've memorized Shel Silverstein. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not smart enough to do this. And I'm it's dumb anyways. I wouldn't call it divine. You know what I mean. I suppose so. What was it like? Working as a torturer? It was supposed to be my punishment. However, do one thing long enough and you acquire a taste for it. It can also grow stale. I won't deny that. You do get to see things that many people do not, such as this scene I haven't seen personally in a while. A human in your house? Painting? Someone else around you? Well, he's had plenty of humans in his house. He kills them. Someone else around you? Again, I don't think that's new, so probably just painting. Also, why is his eyebrow on top of his hair? It's like he stamped it on his hair. Yes. Lots of people paint. Many people paint on computers. I prefer watching people paint on a canvas. You don't have the luxury of just pressing the back button to delete a mistake, or the world of your art at the click of a button. It's too easy to be rid of something you had done. The canvas is much more like the soul. You can't just erase what you've done. You just have to learn to paint over it or accept it for what it is. I'd rather see everything than to be rid of it in the blink of an eye. Are you really one to talk? You're an angel. You're supposed to be perfect. I'm a fallen angel. I am supposed to be what's wrong with the waking world. I was human once, just like you. Then what happened? I killed my brother. He had no remorse in his voice. Cain seemed to be proud of it. Because you were evil and your brother was good. No, because he had big balls and he has little balls. According to who? Who's the real judge of that? Anyone with morality? Morality is fleeting. I just do things that are enjoyable. What do you enjoy doing? This. What's that? Oh, yep, there he is. I didn't let go of the brush. I didn't want to think about what he was doing to me. But I let out a gasp as he touched me. Pain was all I delivered for many centuries. You think this isn't painful? Being trapped here? I watched Cain's fingers dip into my paint and I felt him drag the black ink across my side. I let out a shuddered breath and tried to keep my mind away from what he was doing. I can make it less painful for you. Oh, how nice. Keep painting? How? I wasn't even moving the paintbrush anymore. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like your painting, he growled into my ear. Is that a joke? I looked up at the painting, my eyes widening. I slipped to the ground, just looking up at the painting. Oh, shit. That's a fancy-ass, horribly morbid painting. I like it. Picasso. I said to myself, not realizing that Cain had already left my side. I collected myself and went to the bedroom to go to sleep. And then I'm clothed again. See, so when I said no before, it just acted as if I had said yes. So if I say yes, does that change anything? No, it did not. Okay, 2 more endings. We've got this. Oh. He's trying to drop me off the balcony. And last time I struggled and then told him to go fuck himself, or told him fuck you or whatever. I was just being sassy pants and he dropped me. So he told me to beg, and of course he's actually gonna be super pissed off that I did it. Just like that? Have you no spine? Doesn't matter, you would have thrown me off anyways. No pride? I didn't know how to answer him. Fuck off. I just didn't want to die. Also, can we talk about this? There's no buttons on this shirt. So does this mean it's like held together with Velcro? Do you think his shirt's just Velcro on it and that's what's keeping it together? Pathetic. You're pathetic. I had such high hopes for you. No, you didn't. He sighed and shook his head. Maybe I'll see if you have a spine after your pitiful body stains the ground. My eyes widened with fear. Oh, man. He released his grip and I struggled to keep my hold on his arm. The last thing I saw was Cain's vile grin as my hands lost the strength to hold on and finally let go. I screamed as I made my rapid descent to the ground below, my screams ceasing when my body violently smacked into the hard stone floor. overwhelming pain shot through my broken frame. I could feel blood gush from my fractured skull as my consciousness slowly faded and my vision went dark. He dropped me. I'd drop your mom. So I can't seem to get this one. But there's also one that I couldn't get for Vincent. And I remember one of the comments somebody left was saying that you can use Cain's feather in the Vincent ending, like to get this Vincent ending. So I'm wondering if those two are one and the same. So I'm gonna try to go back to Vincent and try to figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to do. I found it. I found it. I tried attacking Farz the first time, and it didn't do anything. So I was like, maybe if I tried to attack Vincent. And it worked. I closed my eyes. What could I do? I needed someone. Cain can help me. I clutched my hand tightly around a feather I was sure I didn't have before. What did you say? I heard Vincent's voice call roughly out to me. I opened my eyes and looked up. Large black wings. Always getting yourself into trouble, Always. Cain turned towards me, his glowing eyes locking onto mine. He snapped his fingers and pointed at Farz in the room. Aren't I also a demon at this point? I'm either a demon or I'm also an angel. How would I have gotten myself into this situation and not be able to get myself out of it? Take care of that, will you? Fuck you, the person called as I tackled him to the ground. Get off me, you bitch, he screamed as he punched me in the face. I grabbed the knife from his other hand and plunged it into his chest. I let out a loud cry as I felt someone grab my hair and toss me at Cain. I could feel Cain's hands on my torso, catching me midair. Like a football. It was quiet. I could hear the other person coughing in Vincent's low voice. He said something to them. It was too soft, I couldn't hear it myself. He held Farz close and I knew he was dead. I killed Farz. It was too quiet. Get up, beast. It's your turn, Cain said, his tone bored and flat. Vincent got up and let out a loud cry. Vincent's painful howl vibrated off the walls. Cain seemed uninterested in the display as Vincent turned on his heel. He charged straight at me. I'm going to rip your goddamn head off. Cain pushed me aside and pulled out a long silver sword. This will suffice for you, Cain said as he pushed it into Vincent's chest. Vincent gnashed his teeth at Cain. Ugh. Cain pushed the sword in further, causing Vincent to cough blood. He looked up at Cain. Haven't you learned? Cain's words were cut short by Vincent spitting his own blood into Cain's open mouth. Disgusting. Cain let the sword go. Vincent's weak laughter filled the room as he stumbled backwards, kneeling down near Farz's body again. Say hi to my dad for me. Vincent laid down next to the other body. Cain touched the blood around his mouth and looked at it, narrowing his eyes. You can't stay out of trouble, can you? Cain put his hand on my shoulder. It felt like a torrent of darkness as I appeared back in my own apartment. Thank you. No need for thanks. Cain backed up. I looked around nervously. Something didn't feel right. The walls were shifting inwards. I put my hand on one of those walls. You owe me now. Your soul will do. Okay, so I guess this isn't the same character that went through everything with Cain. I'm still just a person? But no, I don't... Because I was thinking Cain can help me. I mean, honestly, when have I ever known what was going on at any given time? He kicked my knees out from under me. I scrambled desperately to get up, but I could feel the ceiling above my head. Everything was closing in, and I kneeled down, putting my forehead on the floor. Know your place. Cain's words rumbled in my small box. I couldn't move. So why would he be like, you can call on me anytime and I'll always be there to help you and save you, but then be pissed that I called him to save me? Okay, so that's everything for Cain. And everything for Vincent. Sweet! Aw, that's it. That's the end. Everything of Lawrence. All of Ren's. So I'm just missing one. I'm just missing one of Vincent's. Okay. I also have a character missing. I don't know who this is. And what does AED stand for? Can I click on it? He likes strawberries. I love that. AED. What does that stand for? Okay, so I need to figure out how to get this extra person. I'm also going to relaunch the game because I want to finish this picture thingy. Yeah. I don't know who this is, so I'm gonna try to figure out how to unlock this random character, I guess, even though I have all the endings. Yeah, I have all of them. So... Found you, you little fucker. Please don't make this difficult. I really have enough work to do. Why are his wings so little? They're like little chicken wings. Let me keep going. There's nothing here. No way out. So just lie down. You're already expired. You're not allowed to stick here. Souls can rot too. That's how monsters are born. Put me in the fridge, then. Do you want that? Maybe. Ugh. Why do I get the stubborn ones? I felt a string around my neck. It tightened instantly, impossibly through me. I wavered on my feet before falling backwards into the water. I floated easily. Oh, the ending. See? Found him. Found him. Ha ha! So I have all of the characters. Thank you, Ash. He's been demoted. Maybe that's why his wings are so little. I still can't find that CG. I don't know. I can't. It's... So this one right next to the wolf one. I cannot find it. I don't know where it is. I don't know. So... if you know, please tell me how to find it, because it will drive me bonkers. So that's it. The boyfriend to death saga has closed. I have died 50 kabillion times, and I have had more nightmares than I have ever had in my entire life. And I hope that you guys had as much fun with this as I did. Let me know what other games I should check out, and I will see y'all later. Rage across the room. It's been this way for a while. I'll go ahead and I'll assume that you'll force it down with a smile. Why hold on to